Hello everybody, my name is Colin, welcome back to another video. Today in this one I'll be doing another deck profile video, and in this one I'll be doing my updated Shark deck profile post Age of Overlord. Yes, I am so happy I get to talk to you about this deck today. Sharks is one of my favorite archetypes of all time. I've been playing it since Burst of Destiny format when Brother of Legends got released and released like the Kragan and the right hand shark. It's a very fun deck to play, and it got a little bit of new support with the new XYZ armor cards thanks to Age of Overlord. So yeah, without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Now I got two things to say before we actually get into it. Number one, is this a deck that's going to top a YCS? Is this a deck that's going to, change the meta? Is this a deck that's going to dominate the meta for the future? No, it's not. It's not going to be that. It's just not there yet. But is this a deck that is fun to play, that is a good rogue option, and is very cheap to build? Yes, it is. Thanks to, a lot of these cards are like pennies now, especially like the extra, like Toad used to be super expensive, but now Toad is like $1 thanks to the Magnificent Mavens reprint. So a lot of this deck is actually like very cheap now. Like, it's a very good budget option for players to be playing, and it's a very fun deck to be playing as well. And number two, I'm going to kind of skim through the main deck just because not that many things have changed with the main deck. If you're new to Sharks and you want to, a full breakdown on why we're playing these main deck ratios and stuff like that, I'll post my past Shark deck profile videos in the link in the description so you can kind of get more of an explanation, because in those videos I go more in depth with the main deck kind of guys. So if you want to go more in depth for the main deck, I'll put it in the link in the description down below. But in this video I'm going to kind of skim over because not that many things has changed when it comes to the main deck. So without further ado, let's get straight into the deck profile. We are playing 14 going second cards. We're playing 3 Ash because, Ash is good. DD Crow, I think DD Crow is very good in this meta, exactly hitting like the Unchained, Tearlament, Purely matchup is always going to be very nice. We're playing 3 Infinite Impermanence because, it's infinite impermanence. It's always going to be something. We got 3 Droplet. I think Droplet is very insane. Sending like the Crystal Shark and the right hand shark is always going to be nice. So I think Droplet is very good. And 2 Talents because, again, 2 Talents. 2 Talents is always going to be good. Talents is just a very good card. So now let's get into the Sharks themselves here. We're still playing the 3 Buzzsaw Shark. This is just kind of mandatory. Very, very good card. We're playing 3 Abyss Shark because Abyss Shark does so much for this archetype right now. You kind of have to be playing 3 of this as well. We're playing the 3 Silent Angler just because it's a free special summon. It does lock you from special summoning from the hand for the rest of the turn. That's not that much of a problem, so we're just kind of sticking with it. Very nice extender for the deck. We're playing 2 Tenny Spirit Shatana. Now, this is some Shark players might be playing this card still. I still think it's a very good special summon, especially with like Abyss Shark, because you can still trigger Abyss Shark under Shatana just because Abyss Shark just needs to recognize there's water on the field. So Shatana does that as well. So you just go special Shatana, then go Abyss Shark to search something like the Buzzsaw is always going to be very nice. So I think Shatana is still good. I don't think you need to be maxing out on it, but I think 2 is fine. 2 XYZ Remora. Now I will go full depth on XYZ Remora because this card has gotten a lot better now that we're playing the XYZ armored cards. So Remora is a card where you can just special summon this card by detaching 2 materials from an XYZ monster, special summon this card, and then you can monster reborn 2 fish monsters on summon. So it's always good because Kragan didn't need materials to special summon it or to activate its effect, so you can always use Remora to get into more XYZ plays. But the reason why it's good now is because XYZ Armored Fortress can search the full armored XYZ trap card, but it can't be used as XYZ material while it has a material under it. And the problem with this is Bahamut Shark will always make sure you have a material, because you go Bahamut Shark, summon Toad, then summon the XYZ Armored Fortress on top of Bahamut Shark. That has 2 materials. You detach 1 to search the trap because there's only 1 target full armored XY or the XYZ spell trap cards in the game, and that is full armored XYZ. So you have 1 material left under it, and it can't be used as XYZ material while it has material, so you can't get into the Dark Lancer under it. So XYZ Remora just helps you get that material off of him so you can get into Dark Armored Lancer, but you can also reborn the fish monsters as well. So XYZ Armor or XYZ Remora is better in this deck now. And we're playing the 2 Silent Sea Nettle because, again, it's a free special summon. This one does lock you into waters, but again, that's not that much of a problem. I mean, a lot of this deck locks you into waters anyways. And then the last 2 ones here, we have Crystal Shark and Right Hand Shark. Again, just here because in graveyard, they can special themselves out onto the field. Crystal Shark can do it from hand as well. So, I mean, they're just nice extenders. You can always special summon them off of Buzzsaw Shark as well. So, just something to consider for the deck. Now on to the spell trap cards. 3 Foolish Barrel Goods is always going to be good in this deck because of Ice Barrier. This is kind of new to me. I've never really played with the Ice Barrier card, but it is very good. So if you don't know what the Ice Barrier does, you can banish this card from the graveyard, send a level 5 or higher water monster from your deck to the graveyard, and then you can add any water monster from your graveyard to your hand. So basically, this is just a way to get you into Abyss Shark pretty early on. You just dump Abyss Shark and then add Abyss Shark back to your hand, which is nice because Abyss Shark does so much things for this deck. But like later into the game, let's say you have like something like Buzzsaw Shark in the graveyard, you can go like Ice Barrier, dump a Crystal Shark, and then search Buzzsaw, and that gets you 2 free bodies right there because you can normal the Buzzsaw and then have the special in Crystal Shark as well. So very nice card that you could be playing. I'm not playing like multiple of this card just because it is a brick in hand, so you don't want to see multiple in this card. If I draw the 1 Ice Barrier, I draw the 1 Ice Barrier. I'm just going with it. We already talked about the Droplet in Talents. We're playing 2 White Mirror. Again, this is a card I've been kind of going back and forth on. It's a good card overall, but I can understand if you don't want to play it. If you want to play like different cards, like I'm not playing like Lifeless Leaffish or Big Tunaful Princess in this deck, just because I think Tunaful is only good with 1-for-1. If you have to normal summon the Tuna, I don't think it's really that great. So that's the reason why I'm not playing Tuna. And Lifeless Leaffish, I mean, Buzzsaw is kind of just doing the same thing, so I don't really think Lifeless Leaffish is really necessary. I do understand that Lifeless Leaffish's graveyard effect to shuffle and then draw a card is nice, but I don't really want to be playing that just because I think Buzzsaw just does so much more. So if you want to play those 2 cards over White Mirror, I would understand that choice. But I think White Mirror is still very good because if you have like Angler in the graveyard, you can special the Angler and search Angler. That's a free XYZ summon right there. If you have the Remora in graveyard as well, White Mirror can get the Remora and then add a Remora as well. Also with just like something like Buzzsaw, just special summoning Buzzsaw and then adding a Buzzsaw is always going to be nice for you as well. So I think White Mirror is very good. You don't need to be maxing out on this card. You don't need to be playing 3. I think 2 is just perfectly fine. 2 Pot of Desires. I mean, it's Desires. It's always been in this deck list, and I don't see a reason to cut it either. Maybe you want to play Prosperity instead, but I think you use a lot of your extra deck anyways. I think Desires is just the better choice. We got 1 Instant Fusion. So I'm not playing the Ready Fusion, and I'm not playing the Rare Fish, just because I think Instant Fusion into Mud Dragon is just so much better, because Mud Dragon, not only is it a level 4 water, so it helps you get into XYZ plays, but it prevents targeting from water monsters, so it helps things like Buzzsaw Shark and like Bahamas Shark going through with their effects, so they can't be like impermed or effectivated or something like that. So I think Mud Dragon is just an overall better card, so I am sticking with the Instant Fusion and not playing like the Ready Fusion with like Rare Fish or something like that. But if you do want to play that as well, I mean, by all means, go ahead. It is a free extender. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to not be playing, like, I'm not saying you're a bad player if you're playing those cards. I just prefer the Instant Fusion over it. If you want to play the Ready Fusion stuff, I would not judge you over it. It's a very good card by itself. But I think Instant Fusion into Mud Dragon is just a little better, even though you're not going to probably see it as much. And then the last card we're playing here is Foolish Burial Goods. Again, I think this card is very insane in this deck because not only can you dump the right hand in the Crystal Shark, so it acts as an extension play for your plays, but if you have the White Mirror in hand, you can just dump anything to graveyard, go White Mirror, reborn it, and then search the same copy is always nice as well. But also Ice Barrier exists as well, so you can go like Foolish Burial, dump a Buzzsaw, and do the play where I said where you can go Ice Barrier, dump Crystal Shark, add Buzzsaw back to your hand is always going to be nice. I think Foolish Burial in this deck is very underrated, and I think you should be playing this card in this deck as well. And then for the trap cards, we already talked about Imperm, we already talked about Ice Barrier, and the last trap card we're playing is Full Armored XYZ. This is just kind of your XYZ package card. We'll get to that in just 1 second. Side deck can be whatever the hell you want it to be. It just depends on what you want to do with it. I think a card you should consider is always Gozen Match, because the Gozen Kraken lock is always going to be insane. And Gozen Match against Vanquished as well is nice as well. Now onto the extra deck. We're playing the 1 Mud Dragon of the Swamp because of the instant fusion. We're playing 2 number 4 Stealth Kragan and 2 Stealth Kragan spawns. Now Kragan, 2 Kragan is kind of the standard when it comes to Shark list. This is a water, or it turns everything into water monsters and is a Trident for water monsters that is non-targeted and inflicts damage to your opponent. It's a very good card. And then on destruction can special spawns up to the number of materials that it had. Now, a lot of people are cutting the spawns down to like 1. I still think playing 2 is nice. Just getting 2 free bodies off the Kragan just makes it a little harder to OTK as well, because you have to go through 2 spawns, and one of the spawns is getting back a Kragan as well. So it's kind of just like a decent card overall. You don't have to be playing 2 spawns, but I like the 1 spawn is probably correct, but I just like 2 spawns in my extra deck. 2 Bahamut Shark, 2 Toad. This is kind of just standard no matter what Shark deck you're playing. Even if you're not playing the XYZ Armor Core, 2 Bahamut Shark and 2 Toad is always just the correct ratios when it comes to Shark lists. We're playing the 1 Dweller because this deck makes Dweller like it's fucking nothing, and Dweller's actually pretty decent as well. We'll come back to Crooked Cook. We'll come back to Valiant Shark. I want to talk about the XYZ armor cards real quick. So if you don't know, I was kind of already explaining this in the main deck here. But if basically Bahamut Shark gets you into this XYZ armored package. So you go into a Bahamut Shark, special summon a Toad. Then you can go XYZ summon XYZ Armored Fortress on top of Bahamut Shark thanks to the summon condition on XYZ Armored Fortress. Then Armored Fortress searches you out the XYZ Armored Trap card. So the only problem with the XYZ Armored Fortress is you need to get the last material out. So we're playing the main deck XYZ Remora like I was talking about. But we're also playing the Valiant Shark as well, because one, Valiant Shark already has a good effect where you can target a card or target a monster on the field and destroy it. And that's a quick effect if you have another water XYZ monster on the field, which is always going to happen. All your extra deck XYZ monsters are, you know, water, unless you're playing like Zeus. But like, again, that's not like that hard to get out onto the field. But the reason why it's very good in this deck specifically is it can detach a material from any XYZ monster you control. So if you can't get into the Remora play, but you can get into the Valiant Shark play because Buzzsaw can treat itself as a level 5 for an XYZ summon, you can go Valiant Shark effect during your opponent's turn, detach from XYZ Armored Fortress to get the last material out, pop a card, then that turns on your trap card to summon out the full armored Dark Lancer on top of XYZ Armored Fortress and get the graveyard effect of XYZ Armored as well. And we're playing the full Dark Lancer because if you don't know what this does, its bottom effect here is you can attach 1 monster your opponent controls as material if a card becomes equipped to anything onto the field. So basically what you're trying to do is do full armored XYZ's graveyard effect to attach any XYZ monster to a full armored Dark Lancer, to then do Dark Lancer's effect during your opponent's turn to attach a monster to it as material. It's a very nice play that you could be doing in this deck, and that's kind of why it's kind of a smaller package. You don't really need to be playing a big package of this. It's a very nice thing you can be doing. Also with like the full armored stuff, if you can go into Valiant Shark, then go into full Dark Lancer on top of Valiant Shark, that makes you like a 4 material Zeus, which is very nice as well. And the last card obviously is Zeus because, I mean, it's Zeus. Look how many XYZ monsters we're playing. Obviously we're playing Zeus. And the last card here is number 59, Crooked Cook as well. I'm kind of happy that people are actually cutting this card now. The only reason I'm playing it is just because this is my oh shit button. I need to summon this card so I don't either die or my hand's just that bad kind of situation. So this is kind of just my oh shit button to kind of just save me for a couple turns. You shouldn't be using this as your win con. You have so many other win cons in this deck. This does not need to be there. So I'm glad people are cutting it. But if you want to play Crooked Cook as well, I'm not going to judge you. I mean, I'm playing it just because it's my oh shit button. But if you want to cut it, perfectly fine with me. There's only the only other card I'm not playing is like F-Zero package. I think this deck locks you into water so much now that you're never really getting into the F-Zero package, so there's really no point to play the F-Zero package. So yeah, that is it for the deck profile. Now let's get into some combos. Alrighty, now on to the combo portion of the video here. So this is just to show you what the deck can do by itself. We're not going to be versing any interruptions or something like that. It's just to show you what the deck can do here. Now, I did only have 3 cards in hand. This is just to show you, this is literally the best open the deck can produce. So this is, I'm just going to show you what this deck can do when it opens the best things possible, right? So we're going to go ahead and normal summon the Buzzsaw Shark. We will then go ahead and special summon Abyss Shark, effect to search XYZ Remora to hand here. And then we'll do Buzzsaw effect here, target itself to special summon out the right-hand shark from deck. And then we'll go ahead and we'll play around Nibiru here. So we'll overlay into the Bahamut Shark, and we're going to make this in the extra monster zone here. And then we'll do the effect of Bahamut, detach the Buzzsaw to go ahead and special out the Toad from the extra deck here. And then we'll go ahead, do the White Mirror effect to reborn the Buzzsaw Shark. And then here we have multiple options we can do here. We can either make a Kragan or a Valiant Shark, depending on what you want to do. It doesn't really matter, but we have the Remora in rotation, so Kragan is probably fine to make here. We'll make it all the way over here. So Kragan there. And then we'll go ahead and make ourselves the XYZ Armored Fortress. We'll go effect detaching the right-hand shark to search ourselves the XYZ, where is it? The full armored XYZ there. And then we'll go effect of XYZ Remora, detaching from the fortress, and we'll detach the Buzzsaw from Kragan here. And then we'll go effect Remora to special back the right hand and the Buzzsaw Shark. And now we can overlay into either a Toad or into a Dweller, depending on what you want to do. It doesn't really necessarily matter. I think Dweller is probably fine here. We'll make like a blind Dweller. So then we set one and pass there. So for our options here, so we have the Toad negate, we have the Dweller. So we can go like draw phase, Dweller, detach from Buzzsaw to activate Dweller. And then we can go full armored XYZ to summon into the Dark Lancer here. And then, so they're under the graveyard. They can't activate anything in the graveyard. We can go Toad effect, negate. That's an Omni negate. And then it gets us the follow-up to add Buzzsaw back to hand here. And then we have the full armored XYZ banishing itself to equip any XYZ. Equipping Toad is nice just because if it gets sent to graveyard once again, you can go ahead and get its effect once again. We'll equip to the full Dark Lancer here. Dark Lancer becomes a 5k that would be destroyed by battle or card effect. I can just destroy the Toad instead. But something was equipped. We can attach one of our opponent's monster to full armored Dark Lancer as materials. And then we still have the Kragan pop as well. And we have the guaranteed follow-up as well. So kind of a nice combo there. So yeah, now let's get into some just 5-card combo hands. Alright, now to show off some 5 combo hands here. So we're in the side deck. We'll just complete done siding and it'll draw us a random 5 cards here. Holy fuck, that is, oh my god, that is an insane hand. So we're going to start off with the Foolish Burial Goods. We'll go ahead and dump the Abyss Shark to graveyard. And then we'll just, or not Abyss Shark, we dump the Ice Barrier. Then we'll do Ice Barrier effect, dump, and then just add Abyss Shark to hand there. And then we'll go ahead and normal summon the Buzzsaw, then do Abyss Shark effect, special summoning itself out, summoning out, or adding the XYZ Remora. Then we do Buzzsaw effect, summon out the right hand. This is kind of looking like the previous combo just because now we have everything. We'll overlay into the Bahamut Shark, wherever the Bahamut Shark is at. We'll go Bahamut Shark effect, detach the Buzzsaw, special summon out the Totally Awesome here. Let's see, now we have like extension plays we can do. So we special out the Needle here. We'll go ahead, overlay into Kragan, or where the fuck is Kragan at? There's Kragan. Then we'll go ahead, overlay into the XYZ Armored Fortress. Armored Fortress detaching the, it doesn't really matter, fucking right-hand shark's fine. We'll go ahead and search ourselves the full armored XYZ to hand. And then we'll go effect of XYZ, or it doesn't activate, it just summons itself. We'll detach the Abyss Shark and the Bahamut Shark, then an armor effect, summon out Buzzsaw and right hand from the graveyard here. Now what do I want to do? So we can go overlay these two. We'll make the Bahamut Shark, and then we'll special summon out the Angler, and we'll make these two into Abyss Dweller. There's Abyss Dweller there. And then we'll do the effect of Bahamut detaching the Totally Awesome, or not detaching the Bahamut Shark, or detaching the Buzzsaw Shark, and then we'll special out the Totally Awesome there. So, and then we just set one and pass. So with a 5-card hand here, we have a pop, we have 2 Omni Negates, we have the Dweller that locks them from the graveyard, and we have the full armored XYZ to make into Dark Lancer, and then affecting graveyard can attach whatever. We have the Bahamut Shark in graveyard, but let's say we already used the Toad, we can equip Toad, and then that's an attach right there. And we guaranteed follow-up because both Toads will get us back both Buzzsaw and Abyss Shark from graveyard. That guarantees our follow-up play as well, which is very nice. So they have to play through 2 Omnis, a pop, an attach, and they cannot play in the graveyard either. And we still have Ash Blossom in hand, which is insane. So that's a lot of cards to play through right there. So that was a nice 5-card hand I showed off there. Alrighty, now for another 5-card combo hand. We kind of drew insane there for going first. So let's see what we can do with another 5-card hand here. So we drew Desires. Okay, so we drew a brick. We drew the brick in right-hand shark here. So what do we want to lead with? I think we lead with Desires. I think we always lead Desires first. See what we draw off of it. Draw 2. Draw the Foolish DD Crow. That is insane. And our banishers were insane too. What the hell? Okay, now I mean, this is just full combo again, right? Because we had the Foolish and Buzzsaw plus an extender. So we special Shatana. We go effective Foolish Barrel of Goods. We'll dump the Ice Barrier to grave. And then we'll banish the Ice Barrier, add the Abyss Shark to hand there. And then we'll do Abyss Shark effect. We'll search out... What do I search out? Probably just 3 more. That's probably thing. Yeah, that's probably fine. Let's see. Then we normal summon the Buzz. This doesn't play around Nibiru, but it gives us more advantage, so I'm just going to go for it. Go Buzzsaw. We'll special out the Angler from deck. Man, we didn't even banish all 3 Anglers. That's fucking insane. Actually, we don't have to do this. We can actually target the Abyss Shark to summon Crystal Shark out. That's actually pretty nice. I like that better. We'll overlay these 2 if it lets me fucking overlay. Go ahead and make ourselves the Bahamut Shark. And we go Bahamut. This is obviously in the extra monster zone. We go Bahamut Shark effect, detach, special summon out the Totally Awesome. Then we can overlay these 2 to go ahead, and this counter is clearly off. We'll go ahead and make the Valiant Shark there. And then we can go, ooh, the problem with Remora. Ooh, that's actually a problem there. Ooh, because we can't get the second. Ooh, that's kind of rough. That's actually kind of rough. Actually, no. Actually, it's probably fine, actually. So we can go, now we make, obviously, we make the Armored Fortress. Go Fortress effect, detaching the, doesn't really matter. We'll detach the Bahamut Shark. Search ourselves the full Armored XYZ. Again, our Desires, not punished by the Desires, by the way. We'll go ahead and then go Remora effect. We'll detach the Crystal Shark and of course the Shatana from the XYZ Fortress, so we get no materials off of it. And then we don't get the effect because we don't have 2 level 4 fish monsters in the graveyard. But we can do Crystal Shark effect to special summon itself out by lowering the XYZ Remora's attack. And this gets us into a Kragan there. There we go. That's insane. So now we set 2. We have the impermanent hand as well. That's kind of insane. So now our interruptions are obviously the full armored XYZ that gets us into Dark Lancer, if it lets me. So we can do a Dark Lancer play. And then we go effect equipped Bahamut Shark, let's say. If it lets me. Fucking let me. There we go. Move this to this spell trap zone. So we equipped it now there. So we equip the monster. Then we can go Valiant Shark effect. Let's say we detach the material from the guy we equipped. Go Lancer effect to pop a card. We have Drident to pop a card. We have a Toad to negate. And then we'll just add like the Buzzsaw for follow-up. We still have the Imperm. I don't know why Imperm went to graveyard. So we have an Imperm negate, and we have the DD Crow to banish a card. So that was a very nice 5-card combo hand there. But that's where I'm going to call it. Hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like and subscribe for more content on the channel. And I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.